Okay, I start slowly talking, and we are in our final session of the day. And if we look into the program, it reads as following. It's saying that, no, this is not the right thing. We would talk now on highlights from the sessions, summary of discussions, next SuSanA meeting proposals, for example, Zakuzan in Nepal, follow-up actions and decision to be taken, and agreements, and so on. One thing I would try to do at the very beginning of this session is that we had during the afternoon and during the late morning few new people, and I think one is just now already gone. No? The person maybe he's just bringing his luggage there. Can somebody? And I would start with that, as we had the round of introduction in the beginning. Maybe those who reach during the afternoon can as well introduce themselves to the group. And for example, I see Prakash, Johannes, somebody from Amkau, yes, was there, and a person who hopefully not left. Maybe you can just say your name, your affiliation, and where's the mic, so that can somebody pass on the mic with Madeleine?
Okay, newcomers.
Yes, Rahul. Okay, so Rahul, please introduce yourself.
Hello, yes, I'm Ina Yoga. I work for Wash United, a small NGO in Berlin, as a head of Wash and Schools.
Hi, I'm Prakash Kumar. I'm currently working as a team leader for health sector reform program supported by DFID UK in Bihar. And I'm also associated with the Stockholm Environment Institute and WAS Institute in India for larger capacity building in water and sanitation.
Johannes Heb, I'm director of SIVAS and Seacon International.
Hi everybody, my name is Denis. I work for PSO, that means Programme Solidarité, Water Solidarity Program or network. We're a French-speaking network, I mean not only, and we work on with people, organizations, most of them in sub-Saharan Africa on water and sanitation public services. So we have quite some similarities with SuSanA, so we plan with Trevor to have a discussion tomorrow morning. Thank you.
Thank you. Then, if what you see at the session, there's one topic that is any other topic. So I'll now ask you in a minute to see in front of you is as well the evaluation and to fill that out. And after that, I will ask you again, are there any other topics that you see? I would suggest that we spend a little bit on regional outreach. That came up just before the coffee break. Maybe we can invite a few contributions. What are ideas to increase the regional outreach? I will say that we had that discussion on the roadmap and on the setup of working groups. I will summarize it and ask you how to comment on it. And I will ask you on next regional meetings, site events, what global events do you see, where we might have our next SuSanA meeting. And I'll ask you then, Roshan didn't come. To my knowledge, the Gates Foundation is planning a larger event somewhere in March in Delhi. And I wanted to ask him if he can't invite us to have a SuSanA meeting attached to that meeting. I have no clue if that's possible. But anybody who can confirm that at least that meeting is there, that would be something. Okay, so now back to, we have this evaluation. What did you most like about the meeting? What did you not like about the meeting? And so on. It's sometimes really interesting what comes as comments from the participants. Tina as well said, please, if you can mark somewhere, how did you learn about SuSanA? Why did you come here? How did you find us? It's quite difficult to find this venue. Because there are a number of people who are here the first time, and it might be interesting to learn who told them that there's something here. Okay, So please, that's on your table, and you can use the time now to as well fill it up. Any other topics? Are there some which I haven't touched? I don't see any. Yes, Prakash. Mic is there.
Actually, already I've seen that one of the working group is newly formed is for the WAS and nutrition. So what is now coming very clearly from the funding agencies, so now they are looking for more integration with the WAS and nutrition.
Okay.
Post 2015, I think these big funding agencies now they are looking for more support for nutrition and having a component in nutrition for the WAS.
Okay.
In
I
fact,
would just so that your point is that when we talk about working group setup, that would be something you would add to the discussion. Okay, I'll put that on. Okay. Any other topics that we should discuss somewhere later? Yes, Jonathan.
Just in relation to. Thank you. Well, one is would be a follow-up on the regional representation and activity of SuSanA, but we'll come to that.
Exactly.
And linking with the community of practice of the Collaborative Council.
Oh,
the other one, so I want to bring that into that discussion. The other is events, and I quite often think there's I think more advanced planning about events and SuSanA representation at events. I'm thinking about Africa Sun next year.
But that we'll do then during events.
Yeah,
okay. But there's no fully new topic that you'll bring. Okay, so then.
No, sorry.
Okay, so but then the next on my list is regional outreach, and that as well goes to regional representation. So you could actually continue and make your point. Is there a new topic you want to bring? No.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, please.
No, it's linked to Jonathan's, but there's not only the community practice, there's also the sanitation and water for all, how we can more maybe make aware of what's happening in sanitation and water for all to the SuSanA group, and because there's a lot of country processes.
Okay, so what I'm getting now is there are other meta networks, and you want to talk about other large networks and how do we relate to them?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take that. Okay, so then we start with regional outreach. So we had Bhushan was saying that how can we have a stronger outreach in the south or in different countries. We have that topic of regional nodes. We have, since the existence of SuSanA, the point that in Stockholm there's less people from the south, so there's a difficulty of representation because it's costly to be here. And now the new thing I think in this discussion was that we learned about the social media and the jumping up in the followers, you may say, of working groups, and maybe that gives some new opportunities how we can better involve people around the globe. So I think we can spend a few minutes on inviting contributions on how SuSanA should think about that.
Yeah, just to contribute to this, the EcoSunWest program developed knowledge nodes around the world, which we can actually use to drive this regional outreach. And of course, I know Bhushan was leading one of the nodes in Nepal.
Yes, I think that's thank you very much, because you have made a hell of a work to identify the nodes and to discuss it and to have a reviews of different regions and continents and then identified some. And then if SuSanA as such is thinking of something similar, we should definitely learn from what you have done. I think I'll take it like this. And yes, I think that we should take into account. For me, it was costing you quite a bit of money as well and time to identify your nodes and to get them going. And we don't have the money and we don't have the time, simply speaking. So that's in general my concern if the discussion on regional nodes goes on, how the German ministry is paying some staff for the secretariat in Eschborn, and if we have a multiplied secretariat in 5 continents, who is paying the staff, or how will it make, how the quality control will be there? Still, we should look at what you have done, but that's why I was saying maybe these new social media and the followers really give some options that we haven't thought of earlier. Dorothea, and then you have the mic. Maybe you start and
a response to this.
yes.
Just a comment, if maybe we have to work with what we have and have to start before we create the notes, which is a lot of work and money. Start with some more focal points or address or where people can ask information or some low grade
Yes,
downgraded.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I brought this up a little earlier, but I think one of the main constraints is a language issue and the fact that so much of the excellent documentation that's coming out of SuSanA is in English. And I certainly, working in Haiti, I'm not able to share that with my colleagues in Haiti. So, and it's another thing that perhaps some interns or volunteers that speak several languages might be able to be enlisted to translate some of those documents into different languages and at least make those available online. And I think that that would be one way to help get this really important information into other parts of the world.
May I react directly? We have always had the meetings in Stockholm and regional meetings. And in some cases, I think like in Ethiopia, South Africa, India, the organizations which were the hosts in their country were using these meetings to lobby for sanitation and for what they want to do in the country. And definitely in Rio, it helped us to get some case studies translated into Spanish. I think we are missing a meeting in a French-speaking country and a strong French partner who can identify why SuSanA is useful in, I don't know, any French country. Then this would help. Then, you know, this is now in 6 months or it's in 10 months. I think then you can make the effort to ask interns to translate the vision document and to see that is there a some French material regarding the language part of it. So my message would go back to the floor to think in that way, and if something comes up, then let's say it's a case-wise, a stepwise approach. If we have something in a country with a new language, that could help us to have a minimum level on material and communication in that language.
Yeah. While we were doing the question, while we were responding to the questionnaire that Thilo had prepared, some of the working group members had suggested maybe trying to create within the working group country-focused groups that could then focus on country-specific as in with the thematic topic of the working group to work on those topics. And I think if you provide them a space on the discussion forum with a country-specific working group, maybe that could be a starting point for working group nodes or nodes which they could manage or something like that.
Yes, okay, and it would be some regional activity and yes. We shall.
Mm-hmm. 3 suggestions. One on the secretariat part, if you could at least break down the members by the regions and then start the process of having country-specific or regional South Asia working group and call for members who are interested, and I can volunteer to lead or co-lead that if necessary. So that would be on the secretariat part. And from the region, if, for example, we're probably going to be talking about SACOSAN soon, but in SACOSAN, which is coming up in less than 2 months, we could at least start initiating the process. And the people who would initiate it is what is the cadre that SEI has already prepared in different regions. So as someone in South Asia, we have gone through that process a little bit. We could take the lead in South Asia. You've got people in South Africa, in Uganda, and so on. So it's already there. The foundation is already there. We just need to revive it and try to make it a little bit active. Maybe Madeline can play a little role there. So if we can play a little role with ACI, trying to get our network up a little bit, and we can plan something for Africa Sun next year. Trying to do something in Africa, SACO-SAN this year, and I think we can at least initiate that process. And in some places it might go well, great. In some places, if it doesn't go well, that's also fine.
I think yes, and then Trevor and any other. Well, okay.
In the nature of what I understand SuSanA's been, I'd say take him up on his offer. He's suggested it twice. And my guess is that you will, in time, see people step forward from other locations. They don't all have to start at the same time.
Next is Trevor. Thank you.
I'm just adding on the two of you because I feel that Ushan and Shona are both on my wavelength. I don't think that nodes need to cost a load of money. I think they need to be driven by the partners, organizations that are there. And if no one puts up their hand in whichever country, whichever region, then there's no node. And those people, from the secretariat's perspective, it'll be a little bit more coordination because we'll have someone else to talk to. But it'll be great because then I don't have to scan or try. I don't do it very well, but I don't have to scan all the news that's happening in India and try and pick out stuff to send out the network because I've got someone that knows the Indian context doing it. And that's my take on it. And I think to send the message out there and say, hey guys, we're open for this, then we will get there.
Yes, more reactions? No reactions? Yes.
I mean, I think part of this issue is also around the sector sort of coming up with a bigger vision regionally and in each country to sort of go to achieve full, sustainable, permanent services for sanitation. And I think if we can somehow with SuSanA start to drive that type of thinking, and I mean, this is something that's happening in a few countries, like Honduras now has a Everyone Forever hub that's pushing for national coverage for water and sanitation services. And I think something like that's going to happen in Uganda soon. And I think that might help also, be a channel for these nodes and to support these nodes. And I think SuSanA is a real good resource to help not only be a platform to have that information get out there more and get shared, but also to actually start to foment some of that thinking and that vision.
Okay.
Going forward.
Thank you. Some more contribution on that? Okay, I think we should, my summary would be that, okay, we should take that up. We should analyze that from the concrete offer we have and maybe some others. What are really the tasks? And then if node is a appropriate name, or is it just an active partner, or is it a focal point or whatsoever, so that we don't have expectations. I can say openly that I would like to reduce complexity. If already now SuSanA is not a juridical person and it's quite there, but what is it? So before inventing a new structure, I would like to understand what is this structure. But I think we can do it, and we take that up as a task. Okay, so that was it on regional nodes, outreach, language. And close to this is other networks, and it was mentioned the community of practice of the WSCC, and it was sanitation and water for all, and I would ask Jonathan and Madeleine to talk on that, and maybe that has as well some link to outreach and regional representation.
Oh, thanks, man. Okay, some of you will stand up. Some of you will have been aware. I think a couple of years ago there was some discussions at Stockholm about establishing a community of practice. The Water Supply and Sanitation Collaborative Council put forward this motion to establish a community of practice. There was some feeling among the SuSanA network and community that... No? You were just... that this was sort of a challenge to SuSanA, and that this was SuSanA's role. I think times passed, and my communication with the Collaborative Council is they're very receptive. They never really wanted to sort of take over from SuSanA or challenge SuSanA in any way. It was really an initiative to meet the needs of their members and to reach down to practitioners, and that's a community of practice. I always think practitioners, and reach down to that level. And so I have communications with the Collaborative Council and communications with SuSanA, and both sides are saying the same message, that there is no reason why we can't work collectively on this. The Collaborative Council are saying that their members are putting forward requests for sort of technical advice and support on specific issues. One of them particularly has been raised, which is on fecal sludge management, and they say that their community doesn't know how to fully address this problem, and they would value some support in helping to overcome this. It would also help, I think, if we took this line, that it would also immediately engage with the sort of regional representation, because you would stimulate interest and activity around key issues which were of specific relevance to members in specific countries and specific regions. So I would like us to think about how we can bring this together, and we can work, and certainly from IWA side, we would like to link these different worlds together, and reach out to practitioners and send out a message that the SuSanA community will work towards addressing these needs at the grassroots level, and help bring knowledge and experiences to help practitioners overcome these problems. So that would be a suggestion that I have.
Thank you very much. I actually, 3 years back, I think it was the last Stockholm Water Week, then there was this founding meeting of this community of practice.
In the main
yes,
conference, that's right. Yeah, I remember.
And we said, okay, great, fine. And I have lost track. So, and now, as well, from your contribution now, it's for me not totally clear what is the expectation, but let's talk about it.
I think a discussion, more discussion between the secretariat and Collaborative Council would help resolve.
Why not? There's absolutely no why not. There's Madeleine and there's others who.
Well, I feel that I should say something about this community of practice, because I was actually part of the preparation of the session with Roland, and there was a need at that time. We felt a need that still SuSanA was very much labeled as an ecosan community, and that we should try to speak between the silos, and we should try to have a forum where we could have a good debate, and where everyone could meet, and we could, highlight critical issues, whatever. And then there was a consultant, and that work was paid by, it was Pippa Scott. She did a really nice consultancy, and WSSCC started the community practice, and they did also an assessment among their members. If there is a community of practice, what are the topics that are important for you to discuss? And very much it was, I think, CLTS at that moment.
Maybe I jump in as a former WSCC member.
Oh, yes. and just give me one word before.
Yes.
Elisabeth from Münch, who is following us on the web stream, is asking people who speak to tell their name again, because some people have not followed us the full day. And so I'm Arne Panessa and from GIZ, and please.
And I'm Ina from Wash United, and I worked formerly for WSCC in the networking and knowledge management department, was tasked to do that. And also 3 years ago, I presented here a network analysis of functioning networks and looking at success and failures. And it was, felt like a broad network on also sanitation and hygiene was needed. And in the Mumbai forum, they established 3 topics that they wanted to dive into further. One was behavior change, one was hand washing, and the third, ICT, ICT for development. And the concept was that a group forms around these 3 themes and coming up with consultative results that are presented then again on kind of meetings like this. A lot of discussion was then put on LinkedIn discussion group, and I'm also a member of that, and I would say this is not very successful, because looking at what is happening here with SuSanA, you can see, and I really want to congratulate SuSanA, because seeing that it's still active, it's moderated, it's very busy, it's increasing the members, that really shows the success how a well-moderated network, especially with active members. I think that's what the COP still suffers, is that there are no real active members with a vision. Yes, I would agree that there should be like a discussion between SuSanA and maybe WSCCC, who are also at the World Water Week, how this can be strengthened if needed. But I feel SuSanA is much stronger and in a better position than the community.
But it's very open to learn and to work together. Yes. Very easy. Okay. And I think, Ina, you're in a position that we would ask you to help us. Thank you. Yes, Trevor.
Sorry, is this on? Okay. Just a response from my side. We have been in discussions with WSCC, with Zelda. It started last year, and then we got to a point where they were very busy. We were very busy. We lost a bit of touch. We've reignited the discussion post Stockholm or pre-Stockholm. She unfortunately is not here. Her colleague's schedule is full. But we are looking at it, and we might have to just set up a meeting either in Germany or in Switzerland and just sit down and see and say, hey guys, where can we actually work together here, and where does it make sense? So there has been a communication on the channel. It's been clearly indicated from us that we're open to it. And they said, yeah, we're open to it. So we just have to put our heads together and a bit of grey matter and find out where we can work together.
I think that's it for the time being. We have 2 people it's Jonathan, who volunteered to be active in that. We have Ina, who knows both organizations very well. We have Trevor, who says, yes, let's sit down. So I think, yes, Madeleine?
Yeah. The WSSCC is organizing a session on Thursday afternoon, and it's all about this knowledge management and knowledge sharing. And I'm there, Darren is there, Roland is there, I think. Roland Schertenlieb is there also moderating this, because the idea was somehow Roland's also. So we're coming back, and this is all about that. I think you will hear more about it if you join the session. And I think it's very good if you join the session. It's a good session. So join us on Thursday afternoon.
Thursday at 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock. Are you also on the session?
Yes.
Okay, so...
Hello.
Okay, so I think that it's quite obvious that we are ready to talk and that we will talk. So I don't know if we should continue to talk here, that we will talk. But please.
This is John Sauer from Water for People. Just one quick recommendation. The next SWA meeting is actually in Geneva, I think in November. So you could kill 2 birds with 1 stone and have somebody from SuSanA attend that partner meeting for SWA, and then meet with WSSCC.
Okay. Madeleine, you have to say it now, or you can say it on Thursday.
No, this is a totally different organization. That's the SWA. We talked about... Yeah, but I think we can talk much earlier than November with WSSCC, because for the SWA, it's good you mention it, because many of the SuSanA members are members participating in the SWA in the knowledge management group, and I think at least one here at the same table as me. And so we are there, but my issue is just that I think we should sit down now and see how we instrumentalize this. So we get the communication going and whatever, because no one has, it's just, we need to see how we do it practically and it makes it sense, If we go to the SWA meeting, we also report back to the SuSanA somehow or whatever, because it doesn't happen right now.
Yes, and I would suggest that somebody who is going there anyway should maybe not to produce more traffic on discussions about discussions. And can we close it now if there's nothing very urgent? Because I was thinking we have much too much time, but the first minor pre-topic is already growing quite a bit. We have another network, just to make you curious, Sanitation and Water for All. That's what Madeleine wanted to talk about. That's the SWWW. Okay.
And that's just what I was.
Okay, I'm so happy about all these networks, like SuSanA.
No, and that's just what I was going to offer. I'm the elected representative on the steering committee for Sanitation and Water for All for Northern Civil Society.
Oh yes,
there
I
are
remember.
3 civil society representatives, 1 Northern, 1 African, 1 Asian, and I'm the Northern Civil Society representative. So if SuSanA would like input on SWA, or there's certain, please help me understand how that would make sense or help.
You want to say something? Okay, good. So the point clearly taken is that there are at least 2 networks which we should see how we can harvest synergies. Yes, and that's a task given to the secretariat and the core group and those who have...
Should we say 3 sentences to it so that people just know what it is? Because it's not a network. Sanitation and Water for All is a global partnership.
We'll say that next time,
Okay,
because then we can connect to who are they and why it's so useful we're doing more with them, and what is it. So then, I think, and that's some of our task that and then there are 2 concrete things. Maybe if others have similar ideas, please contact the secretariat. Trevor will do all that. Yes, yes, send an email. Okay, but I think that it's very clear we should do these 2 things. What's on my list? Yes, it's. I try to summarize it, and then you say no, it's not complete. We've talked on the roadmap, and we've described the process, and we've learned that the working group setup is some are active, some leads would like to do follow different topics, and we're in the middle between the year of sanitation and 2015, when clearly new pressure will come on the system. So Thilo has started that process, and he has in his task as well to document it and to make suggestion how to do the follow-up. And I'd say that we'll do that. We take into account what we've learned here, and we'll bring the results to, I think, definitely as well the next Stockholm meeting, but if we have another meeting as well. But we'll not sort of hijack the meeting with all that. We try to have it as a part of the meeting. That would be my summary, but I invite, the floor is open for discussion on that. Konrad, you were reacting?
Yeah, I would suggest that there should be a clear mandate to the Secretariat to finalize the roadmap, isn't it? With the recommendations, get some more comments from outside, and then close it for the time being. Or how do you want to do that?
For me, it's a living document, but we can that the Secretariat has the mandate to work in it and to take in the what has been here and to bring that back to the SuSanA as a whole. Yes, I think that's who else. Together with the think tank and all this structures will have been set up. Yes, but if
I mean, to be frank, a living document, what does it mean? The vision document is also a living document, but it has been finalized at a certain point.
Yes,
so it's better that it is clear, and
okay.
We say this is the roadmap by that time. Then later you can come back to it, but we can't change it every 3 months, according to me.
Well, I'm hesitating to be very fast with that because I would expect in the months to come to have it more clear what will be the pressure from the 2015. And what I personally learned from this meeting is that we have to sort of repeat the exercise that who will have which workload on his table related to this process. And then ask people, this is what you have to do in any case, why don't you do it together with him or her, and couple organization and workload of SuSanA members. And and that should then flow into the roadmap. That's how I see it, but well, floor is open. Should we do something close and say this is it, and then still we're flexible enough, or should we give it some more time? Dorothea.
Whoopsie. I think we do have a lot of work still, and we maybe, I mean, we had feedback, but not, we can collect more and get more information. And I think it's right to give this roadmap maybe some more time, but there are other things that can be closed, and now we can go to move a step forward, because we have been talking about strategy since last year. Like, for instance, as a Wege lead, I would like to know, okay, now I go home. Is anything changing? Should I just continue business as usual for the moment? Or also, this should be within the communication that is going to the people that haven't been here. So.
Yes, okay. Other comments? No. So I think that the documentation of Thilo will definitely describe how the working group setup change can and should take place, and that should be communicated to all which are here or not here, and should give sort of a timetable to it and a way how to do that, so that whoever is interested in participating in that, or who will be involved when, so that we come. And I think what was clear here is that there is a need to look at that in more detail. And can I have another voice? My strongest feeling is that we should not spend another full meeting discussing a roadmap. Yes, and we should take that out of the audience here and should reduce it to an hour where we report on results. And the work is done before the meeting from the think tank, from the core group, and from like Thilo, who is secretariat. And that's what I would like to promise. And then, well, if it's how far we get, then I can't say, because I haven't been in touch the last 3 years. Are you happy with that? Oh, yes, please. Oh, the mic. Is there any mic? You wouldn't?
Just because you asked for another voice. Shauna Curry with Cost. It sounds like there needs to be, and I would pass this to the secretariat, is there needs to be enough direction that the leads from the working groups are able to execute and move forward, and that the membership knows what the direction is. And to quote one of, I think, our first chair of a board, is that a plan is as good until the next plan. And so to have some concrete direction of where it's going, I would support, and then leave it open for review in the future.
Okay, good. So I think then that's there will be a first final version of the roadmap soon. That's what taking in the discussion here, and there'll be a suggestion how the restructuring of the working groups, what is the process, and there's a suggestion which as well can be discussed. Yes, I think that's how it is. Okay, thank you.
Anne, if I follow that logic of yours, saying we have to wait for
no, we don't wait.
Indicators, yeah, for the SDGs or MDG, the new ones. Based on that, we can revise probably the working groups, and then we can finalize the roadmap. So that will take probably until February or March next year to have a clear point, but we might set an agenda to say, okay, we want to finish it until February next year, for instance. And
Okay.
there's a direction, yeah?
So there's already a point in time with it. Okay. Next is on who is suggesting or knowing about side events, regional meetings, or full SuSanA meetings. And before we talk on that, maybe there were a few people coming who came in now, and maybe they can introduce themselves just so that the rest of them knows.
Hello everybody, my name is Chris Zurbrück from Sandeke Awag from Switzerland. Sorry for coming late.
Yes.
Co-working group lead of working group number 4.
Right. Thank you.
Yes, I am from Sri Lanka. My name is Idirira. Really, we are working on this water supply and sanitation from Sri Lanka. Sorry for the late because of the flight and all. It makes 3 of us getting late.
You're very welcome.
But we have, commented something, but I think you all have already received. Well, thank you.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Somatilaka, coming from Sri Lanka, as we explained. Of course, we got late, and we pardon. And I'm working as a consultant, West programs, attached to the National Water Supply and Drainage Board, Sri Lanka. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. I am Rasika Godaguda. I also from Sri Lanka. I am working in water supply and sanitation sector in National Water Supply and Drainage Board in Sri Lanka.
Okay, thank you. So next agenda point is next meetings, ideas of side events, regional meetings, or even full SuSanA meetings. Yes?
Well, the next side event would be, I think, at Sakosan, that is proposed, that we have applied from the secretariat, and our proposal has been accepted. So one side event is in future, that is in October this year. It's in Nepal.
Kathmandu.
Sakosan, Nepal.
And maybe who of you will say a bit more on it?
Yeah, really, Sakosan, 4th Sakosan we held in Sri Lanka. I think you all can remember. The next one, 5th one, we are going to have it in Kathmandu, as he explained. So we are the focal point in Sri Lanka. And you all are welcome to that, as he explained, in 23rd and 24th of October in Nepal. If anything, you can, there's a website. You can log in and see that. Okay. How can you contribute?
Bhushan, you would like to add?
Pardon?
Yes, just a colleague and you.
Thank you. Glad to know the Sri Lankan delegates are here as well. Yes, a hearty welcome to everybody to Kathmandu, Nepal. October is the greatest sanitation event ever. It's going to be happening there. No, the 5th Sakosan meeting with side event, one of 6 side events. One of them will be on SuSanA, and probably a SuSanA meeting as well, at least for mostly the South Asian members. We're going to have a separate meeting where we're going to discuss 2 things. One, recent developments in SuSanA and the status, etc., and discuss the possibility of SuSanA South Asia. October 22, 23, 24, 22 is the official launch, then 23, 24, 25 is field visits, in which we will be, one of the field visits is to one of the clues areas, which is Nala in Kathmandu. If you have seen the Awag clues book, the front page picture, that's one of the areas. The other area is the Ikosan village in Darechok, so there'll be quite a lot of field visits happening. And it's the peak tourist season in Nepal.
Okay. If you allow, if I'm not wrong, I think in Zambia there will be the next African Sun in March or April next year.
Oh,
April, yeah.
Okay.
And I hear from my colleagues or future colleagues there that we are involved in supporting the Zambian government to organize that all. That seems to be another event.
Okay, so then we should put that in our calendar and take it seriously. Trevor?
From my side, the next thing on my agenda is a half-day side event at the University of North Carolina, health and hygiene, where science meets policy. And SuSanA is there a co-convener and a co-designer of a half-day session on knowledge management, where we're bringing it alive and teaching people with a whole bunch of networks how networks work and how we really can make this happen. And we're not talking strategy, we're talking hands-on, lively, exciting stuff.
Okay, and when is that?
That's 14 to 18 October.
Oh, we have a busy autumn. Okay. More voices? You were mentioning something?
Yeah, while we are talking about SuSanA, I would just want to let everyone know that we are going to be there as an exhibitor. So, and we will have our units there, one of 12 exhibitors in SuSanA.
Okay, that would be the natural step now from the secretariat to ask formally who is there. So not to produce additional traffic, but to use those who are going there anyway, and to design around those who are going there anyway some interesting program, and then maybe sending some 2-3 additional persons there. And it's good to know that you are there already there. Fine.
Sure. So if anyone would like to have meeting, then we are there, all of them.
Okay. Very good.
Hi, John Sauer, Water for People. There's 2 events happening that I think are relevant. One is a sanitation meeting in Benin in November that's being organized by the IRC. And then Water for People and IRC, PSI, and a growing host of other organizations, WSUP, are planning a sanitation as a business. I won't call it a conference because we don't want it to be so big, but maybe 60 to 80 to 100 people, depending on the interest we get, in Kampala, Uganda in February. And we've got some rough dates for that, the 17th through the 20th of February. So that might be something to work on with SuSanA if they're interested.
Okay, so the difference here is that for SuSanA we know people who say that we'll do the work. For North Carolina as well, we know that somebody has committed himself to do the work. For this one, that has to be still clarified, so you might like to contact the secretariat. One can try to find out, are there in any case many SuSanA members? Is there a common interest, a common topic? And then maybe it's doable as well to make a more formal event, and the size should be appropriate to what is there. Zambia is in March. You said the AfrikaZan. I think that's important because we have been in former AfrikaZans well active, and that brings me to what I mentioned earlier, that in March, to my knowledge, March next year as well, the Gates Foundation is doing something in Delhi, which will be a big event from their side, and I would find it as well logical to have a SuSanA activity somehow attached to that, if it's a full SuSanA meeting or is it whatever it is. Now, as Roshan is not there, I think we'll meet people from the foundation during the Water Week, and I would say that the secretariat will try to find out, is there an interest from both sides, and then suggest something. I think that's what we can do for the moment. So these are all events in the next few months. I'm a bit shocked about the number of it. You have a comment on that, Chris? Okay, so what is it? Something big or is it something small? I was thinking that they will invent the toilets thing in Delhi next time.
Yeah, but it's by invitation only. It's for the project grantees.
Okay.
And then I think the idea is that they connect it to the private industry, because they want to really get the private industry, especially in the Asian region, to start investing into those technologies which they're promoting or kind of showcasing.
Okay.
So I mean, that's as far as what I know.
Okay,
I
we'll find out.
I don't think it's like you can register anything. It's more.
No, but
it's more like a.
We can see if they see an added value, if there would be any
definitely
SuSanA
discuss with them and
activity
see,
around that.
Definitely discuss with them and see what is possible.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Seattle. Thank you. You? Okay, 1, 2, and then it goes to that side of the room.
Seeing as we're talking about events, there's the IWA Development Congress, which is quite soon, October, in Nairobi. And further ahead we have plans for a fecal sludge management, the 3rd fecal sludge management conference in Hanoi in November next year.
That sounds better because autumn is quite full. this year. Okay,
Yes,
we'll start noting it down and then see.
There was a fecal sludge management conference 1. There was a fecal sludge management 2. It will be number 3 as well in South Africa. I think that's something that has attracted a lot of our people. It's also something that was started by a node. Yeah.
Okay.
So that is usually in the beginning of November. Last year we made it possible. We filmed it as well. So all the films are on that. And there is a interesting conference. Oh, it's the same one. Okay, sorry about
So
that.
is Hanoi now in Africa? Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, we'll find that out. Huh?
No, that's good. That's good. That is Hanoi. The other one is something called Women and Water. It's a gender conference in South Africa. Wouldn't be too bad to be there represented as well. WRC is one of the organizers, and I think they would be more than happy if there was...
When? Time?
It's February.
Next year.
Yeah. And there's a meeting. Barbara Koppen from IMWI is organizing something someday here. So I'll go and find out. But I know WRC has already asked us if we are not interested to help them out a little bit.
Okay. So I think we have, there were more voices from there, but in general I think we have collected a number of events which we'll put into a list, and the Secretariat knows of some events that definitely there'll be high SuSanA participation and as well inputs, and with the other ones we'll try to find out, and if you find another one which way you think there will be, in any case, be many SuSanA members or will be highly relevant for one or the other reason, please add it. Is there something now to be added to that topic? No. Okay, good. So I think we're through. We're fast. So any other topic that I haven't covered now? Yes, maybe a few voices to what this day, highlighting the sessions and so on. We have I will ask Jonathan to give closing remarks. I've shocked him half an hour ago that I'll ask him. But before he's doing that, maybe some voices from the floor, if you feel like to say what was it for you? Is there anybody who wants to say something? Otherwise, it will be Jonathan. Yes, Trevor. Needs a mic?
I just want to say thanks a million to all the folks online. It's been great. There's been quite a number and quite a lot of live chatting, quite a number of passive viewers. And if the number that's shown on the stream there, it looks like around 85 people have logged in during the day and followed portions of the meeting. And as far as the tweeting has gone, we've had interaction myself and Ekaterina. Thanks a million for your support. We've had interaction with about 20 different individuals, questions, comments, etc., which has been great. So thanks a million.
Yes, thank you. An applause to the globe. Other voices? None? Okay. So then...
Okay, right, well, thanks. This is where everyone's already switched off because you're already thinking about going to the bar and having something to eat and everything. But thanks to SuSanA for bringing together this meeting, 17th meeting. I'm very impressed. And I think what goes on offline is just fantastic. And I think that really puts SuSanA in a very unique position. And I think it's come up on a number of points in our discussions, and it really emphasizes the value of SuSanA. And speaking from IWA, I think, you know, we as an international community and a network have a lot to learn from SuSanA and a lot to contribute and a lot to gain from SuSanA. And I think the comment from Ina, from her previous role in the Collaborative Council, she also acknowledged how valuable SuSanA is. So I think that's something to be really proud of. And I think SuSanA's role in linking together the different communities, policy, the academic world and practice. I think that's come out quite a lot in our discussion today. In terms of sort of some brief take-homes, I can see how much the different principles of sustainable sanitation are being furthered by SuSanA's activities. I would say that we can look towards strengthening the links between the working groups and those principles more. So I think one of my take-homes is how can I, as a lead of one of the specialist groups, look towards promoting those principles and articulating those principles more clearly and encouraging people within my working group to be thinking along those lines. I think that would help give greater structure to some of our activities and discussions. Somebody mentioned about it not being broke, don't fix it, and I think that came out through our discussions. We're not looking at radical changes to SuSanA as a community, its working groups, but there is a need for some refinement, and I think some working groups, I guess it would be final decisions would come at maybe core group level as to which working groups compounded into other working groups. Maybe there's a working group or two that has fulfilled its function, is not going to continue. I'm pleased to say that through discussions with John, who's not here at the moment, he nipped out, but John from... Oh, there you are, John. Hello. Okay. Okay. John's interest in sanitation from Water of People, in sanitation as a business. So, and I mentioned earlier how I saw a key, synergy between the finance and economics. So John and I have talked about working together, and we will really we're not exactly sure how that will play out in terms of the sort of structure of working groups, but certainly we will want to be working together in furthering SuSanA's activities related to sanitation as a business. So I'm pleased to see that as an outcome of this meeting, and I hope that others will also sort of talk offline and say, well, how can we work together? And I think that would be a key take-home is both from the consultation. Thanks very much to Thilo for his interviews and raising some of this conversation, because I think for a long time we've been looking at working groups and thinking, well, what activity am I doing? Clearly we need to be focusing more on sort of tasks, whether they are producing a specific output or whether it's working together as a smaller group within SuSanA towards representation at a specific event. And we've listed there's always lots of events, so we can work together more to bringing together our resources to make sure that SuSanA has some representation there. And I suppose, so the two final points, I think if we focus more on our energies on smaller sort of key deliverables, we can probably achieve more and we can build those up. And for example, our current activity on a one-pager is something that is a smaller key deliverable. And then thinking more about something that came to light, I think, through these discussions was how broad and diverse the community is, and how can we engage more with the wider community, that some of whom are beaming in, but a lot are not connected to this current meeting. How do we reach out to those members? And perhaps if we think about more meeting their needs, then by that process we will then engage more, and those who start realizing that SuSanA can provide something that is benefit to them, then we will find that they will then become part of the SuSanA community, and then they will start contributing as well. That's all I would like to say. Thank you very much.
Yes.
We're closing now. And
yes.
Yeah.
First, we are thanking you.
Oh, thank you.
And I think we have to thank Madeleine and the full ASEI team, and all the technology which has been put up here to send it out to the globe. And I'm not part of the secretariat. Yes. And as I'm not part of the secretariat, we have to as well to thank the secretariat in Ashburn and all others who have made this happen again, 17th time. Madeleine, you were mentioning something? No.
I just wanted to thank the technicians, because
Yes.
this morning we didn't have any connections with the internet, and they made a shortcut somehow. I don't understand
Yes, I
anything
think
of
the
that.
whole university internet, some big server is broken down and they've tried to bypass it somewhere.
And
okay, with
and,
this,
and also, yeah,
yeah.
the not so nice part. Can I take that also? I mean,
Yes.
it's like help us to clean a little bit here, you know,
Yes.
organize things. Can I?
We have enough time to all together rearrange this room, because it will take a few minutes until the dinner and the liquids are ready.
Yeah, I think it's almost ready, but
It's
I would like us to close all the windows and organize here together.
Okay, so that's the last task before I say thank you to everybody and formally close the meeting, and see you at dinner. Thank you.